can I get a motion to go into open session? Moved by Mr. Langone, seconded by Mrs. Cunningham. Please stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please stand for a moment of silence. Thank you. Please be seated. So, I believe we have a presentation.
Good evening. I'm very excited about this evening. We have some privileged guests here. We have a long-standing tradition in Lindenhurst that I've come to find out about with our Marine Junior ROTC. So I'm going to introduce the two leaders of that program. One term will introduce the students. So I have Master Sergeant Mercado and Captain Warrant 4, Officer 4, Christine Glenn. Please come on up. Thank you very much.
Hi, thank you for this opportunity tonight to speak. I don't think I've much of your time and
Mic on?
I brought a couple of amazing, I don't even think I need
Yeah, it has to record.
amazing students that just want to speak for what the program does for the community, what the community does for us. So without further ado, I'm going to have the CO and First Sergeant for the program, but excuse me, Master Sergeant, please introduce yourself. I'm sorry.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for having me, Master Sergeant Mercado. I have been in Lindenhurst since September, working alongside my partner, Chief Warrant Officer 4, United States Marine Corps retired, Christine Glenn. It has been an amazing experience. We have a lot more to accomplish, but we have done some remarkable things in our short time in Lindenhurst. And again, we are going to let the commanding officer of the Cadet Corps, as well as his counterpart, First Sergeant Noonan, introduce this piece. And hopefully, you guys will get a better understanding of the program and the shortfalls that we need to overcome to successfully get to where we need to get. And hopefully you can help us get to the finish line.
I'm Cadet Hutter. I'm the commanding officer, which basically I work with Chief Warrant Officer, Master Sergeant, with all the cadets. I help run events, I help set up events, and even this I help set up. And that's basically what I do. He's my right-hand man. If I need something else, go to him, and if any cadets need a problem, they're not comfortable with maybe a teacher, they can come to me. That's a brief on what I do, but if you look at the slideshows, we're going to go quickly through them and what we do. It's on. How does this work?
Aim it that way.
Oh, wait. Okay. So our senior Marine instructor, we went over it. So our mission for MCJRC, it's a leadership program. It is not a recruitment program. We are not here to recruit anyone into the military. We are not signing contracts to send them right off. It is mostly to improve your child. We want the best for them. We are not trying to get them into a military. If they find interest, that's on them. We are not here to bring them into the military. We have a minimum for congressional mandated 100 students. We need 100 students for the program to keep going, and that's why we're here today, to actually hopefully spread it. We do uniforms on Thursdays, which we have a wide range of uniforms. These are our blues. This is what we do for color guards and football games. We have our other uniforms, and those are the camis that we give to all the students. And we do an inspection, which of them have how to have bearing, how to be professional, and to overall help them in their professionalism and how to show themselves. We do a lot of community service. We have events all the time. We go to parent-teacher conferences. We go to freshman orientation to help out. So these are our instructors. So the curriculum, we have a wide range. We have citizenship, leadership, personal growth, public service, general military subjects, drill, physical fitness, volunteer, and community service. So Fridays, we do Fabulous Fitness Friday. We go either to the weight room. If it's nice out, we go to the track. We do some running. We do some weightlifting because we want to better them in every way. General military subjects. It might sound, oh, it's military. It's really to show how professional it is, the discipline of the military. Not to get you in, because it betters you, gets public speaking in, it helps overall. Drill is how we march. It's our facing movements. It's what we do in the color guard. It's how we show the interest in the color guard. When we first have our new students, we'll show them drill. That's the basis around the color guard. So during the school day, we have curriculum, which is packets that we print out. And as CEO, I help pick out the packets we want to do, what the curriculum we want to do, see what people need. And on off days, we'll do rifle practice, which gets you training in the color guard, the sword detail for the senior citizens prom, and we actually do tutoring. Myself, I've helped tutor around 5 kids and subjects that they need help. We have plenty of kids who are willing to help anyone. It's a great thing. We've seen grades increase. We've seen kids starting to actually enjoy class because they can actually understand it, because one-on-one's better. After school, we have color guard, which is what these uniforms are. We go to basketball games, football games. We go out in the fields. We present the colors. It's a really fun time. We also have other events. We go and meet with other professional organizations. We have camps in the summer where if you want, you can be picked and you can go to a fully paid camp where you'll be taught STEM, leadership, a lot of things. It's a great experience that you do not have to pay for most times. And resume writing. We also help write resumes. Chief Warrant Officer, Master Sergeant, they'll gladly help you write college applications. They'll put letters of recommendation in. And it's a great thing for them to write a letter of recommendation. It stands out. It's one of the best things you can do for an application. So the heart of the program, what we best thing is community service. When we go out into the community, we go for runs, we go and participate, we do cleanups, we do everything like that. Even from parent-teacher, helping someone around the school. We love doing community service. You get plenty of hours that can all be tracked and put in for colleges and stuff like that. We have the Wounded Warrior Run, Christina Rena Foundation, we do a walk, and the color guard. The Memorial Day Parade, and any parade we do, we usually try to lead, because we want to be the heart of Lindenhurst. We want everyone to know that is Lindenhurst MCJROTC. So the overview of the community service is we do countless hours. We do, and it'll show the events. Tunnel to Towers is a big one. We stay into the city for a long time holding up banners of soldiers who have passed. But it's a great thing. You see a bunch of people fundraising for a great cause, and you're doing a good thing, remembering soldiers. So this is Hope for the Warriors Run. This is one of there's events that will show. For the Veterans Marine Corps Ball, you get paid food, it's nice. The Memorial Day Parade, which we like to lead. Empowered Women Color Guard, and we also have Women Color Guard. There is co-ed, there's women color guards, there's male color guards, it's whatever we need, and everyone's available. There's no restrictions on the color guard. You just have to be into it. Lindy Color Run, Warrior Princess Mud Run, Senior Citizens Prom. So fortunately, that's coming back, and we can't wait to do it. That's where we do the sword detail. We have a whole sword detail, put the swords up, let the senior citizens walk through and have their prom. It's an amazing thing, and I hope we can keep that going. Suffolk County Marathon, Tunnel to Towers, which I've been to twice. It's long, but it's amazing. It's amazing to see everyone who wants to support. And to bring it all together, this program is about students. It's not about military. It's included, but in the end, we're here for the students and to help everyone get better. Me, as a freshman, I was annoying. I couldn't speak in front of a crowd. I couldn't do anything. But with this program, it helped me build that. And not a lot of students can do that. So this, even if they might not like the drill or the uniforms, it betters them, mostly. And they're here for the students, not here to get paid. They want the students, they're here for them. And you build that nice relationship with them because they help you in anything you need. You're comfortable in that classroom. So I'm going to give it to Cadet Noonan here and talk about the program.
One of the biggest things for me was my freshman year. I was like him. I was annoying. I couldn't speak in front of anyone at all. I would stutter even talking to my instructors. And as I was going through the program, my first color card practice, I had one of our seniors who had graduated last year, Chris Donnelly. He helped me get out of my shell. He put me what's the color guard? The American flag. So you're yelling all the commands. He got me out of my shell quick. And he also, Cadet Hutter, he had taken me under his wing as well. He had taught me more of the ropes. He taught me this is bearing, this is facing movements, this is what we do around here. He developed me into a leader. He's what started it. And then you have sophomores here, you have a senior here, you have a junior here, and it's just, there are some freshmen who I've spoken to some parents, and within the first 2 months of them being in the program, they just said their kid has completely changed for the better. Their homework gets in, they need help on a test, they have a test coming up. We have kids who are very good in math, science, social studies, anything. Another thing I would really like to push, this is not a recruitment program at all. If you show interest in the military, if you show interest in going into the military, they will provide you with all the resources possible. They can write letters of recommendation, but if you do not, if you have no interest in it whatsoever, that's fine. Another point, the physical fitness. I am a wrestler, and some kids don't even do sports. Sometimes I will take charge of the workouts, and some of the kids really, really appreciate it. There are some kids that, like this one kid that sticks out to me, Eric Yu. He is a freshman in the program. He wrestles with me. He was very, very scared to wrestle. And I had talked to him. I helped him work out a bit. And this year he's doing pretty well for himself. He's in very good shape. He's in very good wrestling shape. So it doesn't even just stem for academics. It stems for your personal life, that it can also really, really excel and really help you. I also want to bring up our 2 sophomores here to talk a little more about it.
Hello, I'm Cadet Montero. I joined the program freshman year, and it has helped me throughout a lot. I met our two instructors, Christine Glenn and Master Sergeant, and they have been an amazing part of both my academic life and my personal life. And having cadets such as Hutter are amazing because they push you to your limits. They show you how to be a bigger person. I started this program and I was new to the district. I just came to Lindenhurst 2 years ago, and I actually came from the Dominican Republic a year before coming here. And I didn't know where to fit in. And then I started the program, and I'm like, wow, like you are able to be yourself, because like, for example, on those Thursdays where everybody's in their camis, everybody's in uniform, you're all the same. You're not different from anybody else. You go into that room and nobody's gonna judge you for how you're dressed, who you are. And you have older people your age who are going to help you out and also guide you through maybe homework, like they said. They help you throughout your tests, they help you throughout everything. So I really would love for this program to continue and to stay forever. Like, it's something that many people can appreciate, and people can become a bigger and better person in school and their personal life, physically, mentally, emotionally. And it's not just gonna be like another class where you go and you sit at a desk and you just look at the teacher teaching and you learn about history. No, we learn about everything in there. And because they have experienced different things that maybe not another staff member has, and they're going to tell you maybe about something in the world out there that not every single adult might know. And you're gonna have also students who might have experienced something, and you're gonna be allowed to talk with them. You're gonna be allowed to be yourself. And that's what I love about the program, that you're not judged and you're allowed to have pride in who you are. Thank you.
Thank you.
So I'm Cadet Hubschmidt. I joined this program. I didn't really understand what the program was when I joined. My mom said to take it because
Always listen to your mom.
she took her own version of ROTC in high school. She went to an aviation high school, and she said that it was a really good program for her. When I joined it, I was really unsure because I'm somebody that does well in school, like, I'll be honest. Like, that's the kind of classroom setup that Montero was talking about, where you sit down, you learn from the teacher, and you just kind of like send the same paperwork back that they gave you. And so when I got into the classroom, and it was a very different experience to have somebody who's like talking to you about current events and learning about such a wide like array of topics, like all at once, and mixing them in and combining them. But she, like, CWO did such a great job of, like, explaining it, like, in a way that it made it easier for me to understand. it was like a wonderful experience to be in there. And I'm meeting a bunch of different kids who you wouldn't really meet. Like when you're in school, like they kind of split you off into your own like branches over time, where you're going to English class with the same people. Even though they try to change it up, like you're still with the same group of people a lot of the time based off your grades. And I feel like ROTC is such a great way to like get to meet all these different people and see like a bunch of different experiences and not just the one you're used to. So I hope it really does stay around. The fact that they were talking about taking it away, like it made me really upset because I wanted my siblings to come and join it. My brother, he's in 6th grade right now and he looks excited to join it and he really likes the physical aspect of it. So I hope it stays.
That's great. Thank you. Thank you very much.
I want to thank you for being here. The grace, humility, the commitment to each other and to leadership is really on display. And this is a wonderful program. In my short time here, I know that. I also know, as they've talked about, it is somewhat imperiled. The reality is that we must have 100 students participate, or the program will be taken from us. I think it's important for people to know that. That's why we're trying to work together to showcase. When you see these 4 individuals up there, they're amazing, and they're representative of a large group of students. So, it's a program that we support and has been supported here for years. We also know that it doesn't have the numbers that it really is required to. So our hope is that if this inspires one person, multiple people, you out there watching via video, then this has been worthwhile. I know that they're presenting and working to recruit as well. I don't know if you have a moment, the board may have some feedback for you or some questions.
I have a question. I don't think this is working, so I'm going to borrow yours. Hi, guys. I just want to say thank you for sharing your story. I'm very proud of all of you. You all are. Just a quick question. I know we were looking into possibly the middle school, some of the 8th grade from the middle school. Any progress on that?
Yes, I put in the request to head coach of Marine Corps, and they said all students have to be housed within the same building or it has to be contractual. So unless the 8th graders were actually housed in the same building, like 9 through 12, then they can't count for this number.
Unfortunately, that's
We tried, it was a fantastic idea.
It was a good idea.
Thank
Well,
you.
thank you again.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Mr. Renner?
I don't really have much questions, but I do want to commend you cadets for coming out tonight, and thank you very much. What a great presentation. 20 years ago, I was in your shoes. In fact, I was the executive officer when I was there. So I know what a great deal that this program does. And again, I commend you guys. I can tell you this, from my own personal experience with the program, it kind of made me the person I am today. I had a great group of instructors, and I can tell you that I know, speaking on my behalf, I will do what I can to help you guys out. I really believe in the program, and I strongly hope that we can maintain and keep you guys here and bring your numbers up. One thing I would like, and this is a little bit of an ask, next year, a Marine Corps birthday ball, please. Because I know that has gone away, and I'm sure a lot of it had to do with COVID and everything. What's that?
No, it was just funded.
Oh, really?
Put in the request, because they used to pay to, they would sell candy and raise money for a Marine Corps wall. But when I got here, I just, without sounding, I don't know, bougie at all, I don't feel like really anybody understands or rates the Marine Corps wall, like more than probably the 2 instructors who spent on entire adult lives in the Marine Corps. But,
Yeah.
no, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying was the onus to pay for it was on the 2 instructors. So they sold a lot of candy to do that. So if I'm going to have students do that, that money's going to go toward their school trip, not toward a Marine Corps wall. And we've done this, like I put in the request maybe 4 or 5 years ago, and I believe you guys were going to meet us halfway and pay for half of it, but it died there because if it's funding from this side, we're already struggling. I can't even buy toner for my printer. So I think that's where it fell, was financially, period. But I would throw a Marine Corps ball in a heartbeat if I had money.
I just know it was a lot of fun, and the cadets really get really into it, and they do a phenomenal job with that. But again, thank you very much for coming out this evening and everything.
Without going over my counterpart, one of the things that I did spoke to the commanding officer, well, unfortunately, my counterpart had to deal with other issues. We did a cake cutting ceremony, and that ceremony, I think we had participation maybe 80%, right, of the cadet corps. So we are trying different things that are cost effective. Obviously, in today's, today's budget, I am considering, again, premeditated, but considering a mess night. A lot of these, wonderful, hard chargers deserve it. So we're working that angle. Just, we'll let you know. We'll keep everybody advised when we get there. But, again, it's cost effective, so we have to really be mindful of that. But just to let you know, we do have photos. We did a cake cutting ceremony, and we had a couple of the APs come down to the room. They got an opportunity to see what the cake cutting ceremony was all about. So we are trying to, think outside the box without hurting the budget.
That's great. And Ms. Davidson, I was going to ask, is there any way we can get the pictures from them and put those on the website?
Pictures, this presentation?
No. Well, if we could do the presentation, that would be great. But I'm talking about the pictures from that they did for the cake cutting ceremony.
Absolutely. If you could send them to me, we can absolutely.
Yeah, so one of the things that I think I would like to see is a lot more publicity from them, and I think that if we can get the pictures from them, and we can get that out onto the website, even, on our Facebook or Instagram accounts or anything along those lines, I think that would help.
Absolutely. And one of the things we had, being new to the district, I did not fully understand the program, so we actually had a meeting. It seems like forever ago because of the break in between, but I think it was in November, so that I could better understand the program. And I can tell you that Dr. Brody was a part of that, Mr. Caravana, and we talked about being committed and helping them to remove barriers and obstacles. So we talked about if funding is an issue in areas that we can support and help, we'll certainly work to do that. We want to do everything we can to help the program to succeed. Thank you again.
Thank you. Thank you again. Thank you.
Thank you.
Approval of minutes?
I'd like to move the minutes from the December 7th business meeting.
Moved by Mr. Langone.
Phil seconded it.
Who seconded?
I did second.
Seconded by Mr. Reddick. On the question, seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Motion carries 8-0-0. Anthony?
Happy New Year to everyone. First, and again, it seems forever ago because we just came back from break. We wrapped up a wonderful winter concert season. Central office administrators attended concerts. The board was present at all of the concerts at points. The staff was amazing. The students were incredible. It was something to see, to be back normal again, singing and being around each other. So wonderful season, and I think Mr. Trapani might be able to see his family again now that the season's over. So thank you to him as well for all of his efforts. That being said, we have a high school musical coming up, February 3rd and 4th, Seussical, the musical, so we'll be reaching out, but tickets are on sale, so hope to see you there. And not long after that, February 10th and 11th, we have Mary Poppins at the middle school, so season continues as well. Mr. Mesty informed me, shifting to sports, that we have some good news on the sports front. 5 of our sports fall teams were identified by Section 11 as Outstanding Sportsmanship Award winners, which is really reflective of their character and very much this community. So those teams were middle school girls soccer green, coached by Mr. Severson, middle school boys soccer white, Coach Dave Ficalora, middle school football white, coaches Dennis Spinelli and Dan Perez, varsity football, coaches Lombardi, Sankapi, and both Mr. Mark Frohl and Ron Frohl, and varsity cross country with Coach Carlson. I'm also proud to announce that the district is moving forward this coming spring season with its inaugural girls flag football team. So we're one of 20 districts that have signed on for the first varsity season for this sport, and we're, with the board approval, we're moving forward in that direction and very excited about this prospect. bringing that aboard here in Lindenhurst. So, and from what I understand, we have a lot of interest, so that's good to see. Finally, I'm wrapping it up. As you may be aware, the village of Lindenhurst has turned 100, and there's going to be a year of festivities. One of the things the district is doing is working with the village to embrace our community. We're designing a contest in tandem with the village in order to encourage students to create works of art, writing pieces, pictures that really reflect and display their love of Lindenhurst. Some of our younger students who are winners will march in parades as little mayors. It's the little mayor Mike's running out all over the place. And our older students will be recognized as well. And their works will be on exhibit throughout the community. So we're partnering with them to celebrate the long history here as well. Thank you.
Agenda questions. Do any of my colleagues have any questions on agenda items?
I do not.
Mrs. Cunningham?
I do not.
No, she does not.
You
I'm
don't?
good.
No.
For once.
Nope.
Does anybody have any questions on agenda items? Agenda items? Consideration of consent agenda 8.1.
8.1, I'd like to move the consent agenda as presented.
Moved by Mr. Langone,
Second.
seconded by Mrs. Cunningham. On the question. Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Motion carries 8-0-0. Now, I believe we have unfinished business. We do have that letter.
Yes, we do have unfinished business. 11.1.
It's unfinished.
Second to last page.
11.
At the previous meeting of the Board of Education, Mr. Renna raised a point about penning a letter to New York State and to several political entities regarding the opposition of mandatory vaccines. I don't know, Mr. Renna, if you want to just talk a little bit about the direction that the board has taken since then.
Yes, no problem. At last meeting, I brought up about presenting a letter to our legislators in Albany asking to not mandate any vaccines for children to go to school and to keep it optional for us. My feeling is, and this is my personal opinion, is that I don't believe any government body should decide what's best for our children. I know that several of my colleagues feel the same. So I asked if the board could please pen a letter to our legislators in Albany, basically just stating that we are behind an optional vaccine and not to mandate any such requirement for children to attend school.
This is for the COVID vaccine, correct?
Yes, in regards to the COVID.
Okay. Does anybody have any questions, comments?
No, just a comment. I mean, at that meeting, I think the vast majority of the board members that were here voiced their support of that. And to that end, we went and created a letter to the governor and legislators, basically saying what Mr. Renna just said, which was, you know, we don't feel that this particular vaccine needs to be mandated. We feel that there needs to be parental choice, and respectfully wanted to pass that along to the governor. And I believe we have a letter here tonight, which we're going to vote on and sign.
Right. And we provided copies to the public of the letter?
We were going to provide copies tomorrow.
On the website? On the website? Okay.
On the website.
Do you want to just read it?
Just to be clear, Mrs. Hoffman,
It's too long. Yeah.
when will that letter be going out?
Should the board move forward, we will have this sent out first thing tomorrow morning.
Okay, thank you.
Electronically and then, via snail mail.
Thank you.
Okay.
So
Yes.
we are.
Yes, so
So
we're
do we need a
open also
motion?
for public comment. If anybody from the public, one at a time, of course, wants to say anything, wants to be heard, has any comments about it, you know, please. Yeah, if you don't mind. You know, actually, just stay right there. We don't have that many people.
So my question is, you guys have sent out letters before, is we're not new to this, and we've been under a mandate. So from what I'm hearing is most of you agree that our kids should not be vaccinated in order to get an education. That's what I'm hearing, correct?
Well, I
All right. No,
I'll speak for myself.
Okay,
I don't believe,
so my question is, what if it comes down that it doesn't matter what your letter says, they're going to mandate this vaccination. How far will you go to stand behind your parents in this district to say, no, you know, our kids should not be required to have a vaccination in order to get their education? Are you going to stand with the
I'll
parents?
speak just for myself. I'll go as far as we can go.
Okay.
As long as I have the majority of my colleagues behind me, I will go as far as we can go.
And I appreciate that. I just, sitting here for years hearing, 60%, 60% funding, 60%, as a parent, you get frustrated because it's like, what's more important, the funding or our kids, and that's where I'm at. That's where I'm at now. So that was just a question I had because I was told about this letter, and I was like, okay, this is great that they're sending the letter, but how far will you go?
Like I said, I will go as far as I can. Okay. Anybody else want to chime in with me?
I do.
Go ahead.
That's one of the reasons I like sending the letter, is I feel like we're a little ahead of it to say this is how we feel and this is how we want the schools to be. There are some immunizations that we have to have, and at this time, we don't know enough about this vaccine for the government to have to impose this on our school. So if we are behind it now, I feel as though at least we are being vocal.
Absolutely.
That being said, though, I have taken an oath that I'm not breaking the law. So that's the push point. I'll push as far as I can, and I've been standing up the way that I have. I'm pretty consistent all the way through on this one. That's why I would like to sign this letter, get it sent, and then continue. And hopefully, and I'm sure, my opinion, that the other schools too will be coming along with this, is my hope.
Okay. As far as I'm concerned, it's not our decision to decide what a parent should or should not do with their own child. It's
Agree.
a parent's choice.
Agree.
Not ours.
My opinion too.
Bill?
Just to make one additional comment, to the community, Lindenhurst is not the only school district that is doing this. There are multiple school districts on Long Island and throughout the state that are doing the same very thing. I know Elwood has done it, I know Massapequa has done it, I believe that there are a number of other school districts that have done this on Long Island, and others, as far as I'm aware, upstate New York as well.
If I could just add also.
Wearing a mask versus putting something in
My own child's body or anyone else's child's body is a totally different story. No one should have to make any kind of decisions for anyone's children other than that person, that parent. So that's where we stand.
Okay. Anybody else? Heather?
I want to know, why did it take so long for this letter to become a process? Like, why is it taking so long when a lot of the other school districts have sent theirs over a month ago, a month and a half ago, before Thanksgiving even?
Well, I suggested a year ago when Assembly Bill 83.
Because now tomorrow this is being voted on
So
in Albany.
here we are.
One thing I can tell you, as somebody who also, no, it's a great question, and I do want to clarify, as someone who has signed this letter himself. So I do stand with the board members that are putting this forward. What I can tell you is there's a couple of things. And I can't speak to other districts, but some of them went and they penned a letter and they didn't have an open conversation or dialogue about it in open. So what we decided collectively, that it was important to have this conversation with the community and then get the letter out. There's no one who believes this single letter is going to change the course and direction, but the collective voice people do believe that that's the case.
The more voices that are out there that say, we're not saying,
Right.
and I'm sure you guys agree, we're not saying don't get the vaccine or get the vaccine. It's not about that. Just like it was not about masks or not being masks. It is about the choice.
That's right.
To, you can get the vaccine. If I get the vaccine and you don't get the vaccine, me getting the vaccine does not protect you from anything. If my child gets the vaccine and yours doesn't, this does not protect your child or my child. my child getting a vaccine protects that child from getting a vaccine. My child doesn't get a vaccine because of other issues that are going on. It doesn't have anything to do with anybody else. At the end of the day, choice is the only answer, and everybody wins when there's choice. That's it.
Thank you. I can't deny that comment.
Ma'am?
I just want to know, did the board vote on the
We're gonna do that
letter?
right now.
We voted last week. No, we did not.
No, we did not vote.
No, we did not vote. To compose the letter. To compose the letter.
Tonight is we're going to vote on sending the letter. We're looking for public input first, and then we're planning on voting. Okay? Anybody else?
All right, let's vote.
Anybody from the audience? Board from here? Any other comments?
good.
No,
Okay,
good.
so.
I'm good.
I don't have it in front of me. All in favor of?
Donna.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry for the last minute decision. So I'm the grandfather of a vaccine-injured grandchild, right? My kids had to leave the state because they can't go to school here. Not only can't they go to school, they can't go to daycare, they can't go to summer camp. So, that's a real bummer. That's a total bummer. So, from what I understand, you guys are all going to vote for this, which is great, but then we don't have to rely on our government to give us the right to either choose or not choose, right? And I don't know, I just have a feeling that it's not going to be just a waste of time, and they're going to go ahead and make their own decisions. And we're just going to lose a lot of good people here in the state of New York, and they're all just going to leave. My children had no choice but to leave.
They're already.
Yeah, I know they are, but that's what I said, you know?
And the school district's going to lose a lot of enrollment if it's mandated.
Yeah. Just
We want to pull their kids
homeschooling.
out of
Homeschooling doesn't work either. We tried it. They tried it since 2019. The homeschooling did not work. And they made sure that it didn't work.
If enrollment's down 60%, doesn't mean anything.
We prefer to remove them.
Yeah. And it's a real drag, you know, because I had them with me for 10 years. And they're gone.
Like I said, my son has, get was born, because they're all just like, cannot get this vaccine. I told them that last year. If the vaccine is mandated, you will kill my child. I told them that. And it is true, and it will happen. And they're all just going to write a health exemption because she'll lose her license.
Yeah.
So I hear you, and I get it. And this is going to affect there's so many kids who have vaccine injuries.
And it's not just that, you know, I was out on the front lines at Stony Brook University, standing up for all our frontline people. You know, we praised them throughout COVID. Great job, great job. But then when it came down to it, hey, you're no longer invited here unless you get yourself a vaccination. That was doctors, nurses, healthcare workers, you know, the lunch lady down to the janitor of those hospitals. That was terrible, absolutely terrible.
And I can appreciate you not wanting to break the law, I can, and I understand the oath that you've taken. But there's got to be more that can be done, because what is the point of the board and hearing the parents and the district if you're going to have a tyrant that's going to strip the board or threaten the board, take our funding away, harm our children? What is the point of even being here if we don't have a say in what happens in our lives?
Take a stand.
So
Yeah,
just
you
got
gotta
voted
take a
in
stand
for
somewhere.
4 years. Right. So right, which is also debatable if you ask me, but that's just me. We don't have to.
Okay. Thanks for listening.
Thank you.
So all those in favor of sending the letter out and signing it with your own names, please raise your hand.
Absolutely,
I'll
yeah.
sign.
Sorry.
Sign up.
Those opposed? Okay,
There's
All
a
right,
statement.
we're good.
so. Unanimous?
It was unanimous.
Business.
So do we have any new business, treasurer's report?
So,
No,
No, it was unanimous. It was unanimous after that.
yeah, it's all signed. We're all putting a signature to
The
it.
next point, so the next piece is a very quick piece. In my first year, obviously working with the board, we want to make sure we're as transparent as possible regarding a budget process. So we're not presenting on budget tonight, but just really outlining the process and the dates and the important information that people have. And then from there, inviting board feedback on any information that they would like from us as we present over the next few months. So Budget season is well underway. It probably is beginning September 1st every year. So just quickly, I'm going to go through this.
It's very quick.
Again, this is just to invite discussion from the board relative to our process, proposed process for the budget. If you look at this proposed calendar, we're going to give a preliminary budget presentation on February 15th. Some of these incorporate mandated dates and topics that we have to address. From there, we will have 3 community budget presentations. These are on March 1st, 15th, and April 12th. As of April 12th, the board will vote upon adopting the budget. At that point, it is very difficult to change the budget, so most of the information has to come in before then. April 25th, there's a budget vote for BOCES and their administrative, which is separate from ours. It's the only night that'll be a Tuesday night. May 3rd is a public hearing for the adopted budget, where the public will come in and voice their feedback. And then finally, there's a budget vote and election, and that is the big date on May 16th. It's the vote for trustees and for the budget in and of itself and anything else that would come up. What we're proposing is during some of these sessions, that we have some specific topics. Now, I believe that in the past, the district has presented on these particular topics. With COVID, some of that went away. It was replaced in lieu of that with videos. We want to go live again with this and begin to present, first of all, provide the public and the board with a line-by-line copy of the budget, but to present on particular items and some of the larger items throughout the entire budget. Those include, first, giving a general review. February 15th, we should have a general idea of where we are relative to the tax cap and levy, so we can give an overview of what constitutes the budget, what are the components of the budget, what we anticipate the cap might be. That could change depending on aid and things of that nature. On March 1st, we would present on upcoming capital and maintenance projects, as well as shifts in transportation for the year and proposed changes. March 15th, curriculum instruction, personnel, and special education. And then finally, on April 12th, instructional technology, athletics, physical education, and health, and then fine arts and music. So we look at targeting these particular topics on those evenings. And that being said, I really just open it up to the board for any discussion or feedback relative to the topics that we outlined in the schedule.
Anybody have any questions? No questions. Anybody from the audience have any questions on our schedule that we have?
That was easy, thank you.
See the letter.
Okay.
All right. Do we have any other new business?
I'm sorry, new business.
Treasurer's report?
So I present to the board the treasurer's report for October 2022 to consider to take action upon.
Okay. Budget transfers of $15,000 and under? Okay. Dates to remember are listed. Can I get a motion to go in executive session?
May I just speak?
Go ahead.
I have one question in regards to our letter. Do we have to add Mr. Di Giuseppe and Mrs. Anzalone's names aren't on here?
I have to add names.
Okay, so then we can't sign it just yet and send it?
I can go up and we can take care of that now.
Okay, I just wanted to clear that up.
Okay. Can I get a motion to go in executive session?
Move it.
Moved by Mr. Langone, seconded by Mr. Martino.